Hi there. Today we are making Caesar salad dressing. Now, to me, there are vegan Caesar salad dressings out there that you can purchase, and there are recipes online. But to me, a Caesar salad dressing cannot be made without anchovies. So if you're looking for a vegan or even a vegetarian version, you're gonna have to go somewhere else, because this is the one. You could just leave the anchovies out, but it's not gonna taste like Caesar salad dressing. Well, not to me anyway.
You have to leave the egg out too. And the
yes,
cheese.
if you wanted it to be vegan, and the cheese as well. It's you know what? This is just not that. It's not really vegan friendly, and it's not even vegetarian friendly. Not this time.
It's vegan hostile.
Now I'm also, next week I'm going to do, it's not hostile. Next week I'm going to do a video on stovetop croutons. And when we make our Caesar salad, it's usually romaine lettuce, stovetop croutons, a little bit of extra, grated Parmesan cheese, and the dressing. So this is the beginning of that. And it's super easy. You may or may not have everything around, but it certainly doesn't take much time to make. So let's just get right on it, okay? So we're gonna start with, we've got some cloves of garlic there, just peeled. With this version, we're making with a whole egg. You can make it without the egg, like completely without the egg, and we've done that, and it still works. You can also make it with just the egg yolk and use the egg white for something else, but because I don't have anything to use the egg white on right now, and I have lots of egg whites frozen in the freezer, ready for some other thing, we're going whole egg.
Whole egg.
Whole egg. And this is 2 anchovy fillets. Now, these ones are the kind that you get in oil because we decided to go with this. We have sometimes purchased the salted ones, but the salted ones need to be deboned and rinsed and all that kind of stuff, and they're much harder to get your hands on, whereas these kind are the kind you can get in pretty much supermarkets anywhere.
The ones in salt are better though.
They are, but that's not what this recipe is using, because we're trying to go for what's easy for you to get. And anchovies in oil, in a can, sometimes in a jar. That's what those are. Then we have Dijon mustard. Maybe you could use a grainy one here, but it's all getting blended up, so there's not really any need for that. Lemon juice, and we've talked about this before. In my universe, we only use lemon directly from a lemon, nowhere else.
Never seen plastic.
Not in plastic, not in glass, just inside that lovely lemon. And this is 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're gonna plop that right in there because we're using the olive oil this time for flavor, not so much for the base of the dressing, because if you use 100% olive oil in this dressing, it's not going to taste like a Caesar salad, or Caesar salad dressing. It's going to be too olive oily. And so we're actually using sunflower oil, but you could use canola or grapeseed or any neutral oil that you happen to like, avocado oil, whatever works for you. So we've got everything except for our neutral oil and our Parmesan cheese in the handy dandy container to use our stick blender. Now, you could do this in a regular blender. You could do it in a magic bullet up to a certain point. Now, the magic bullet's not going to work for you. You can use a regular blender. You can use a food processor. Okay?
Do you not put the other things in as well first before you blend them?
No, I don't.
Oh, crafty.
You may.
I do.
But I don't. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting the garlic all chopped up fine, because as you saw, I put it in pretty much whole. I just smashed it enough to get the skin off. Getting the egg mixed up, the Dijon mustard in there, getting everything happy. Okay. Once you feel like you have that where you want it, the next step, I add the cheese at the end. I don't know, Rob, maybe when you make this, you add the cheese earlier. For me, I do that at the end. So what we're gonna do, like we did the other time we made a dressing, is very slowly incorporate this. Now, it's not like mayonnaise where it has to be literally drop by drop while you're mixing by hand, okay? So just slowly and steady.
Beauty.
Okay, so we have a lovely emulsified dressing there. Now, sometimes it's way thicker than this. Can't tell you why. I don't know if it has to do with the size of the egg or how quickly or not you add the oil. I've never been able to figure out exactly why. Sometimes it's super thick and sometimes it's runnier. I would say this is pretty much the perfect consistency for salad dressing. If you make this and you find it's really thick, like you could glop it, and I've had that happen sometimes, add some water. That's totally okay. But just a little bit at a time until it gets where you want it to be. So I'm gonna pop that grated parmesan on. Still, right? Pretty runny.
Good.
Now, that, you can leave it right there, okay? I would taste it and add salt if you think it needs salt, but remember that anchovies are super salty, so don't just start with the salt. Parmesan also is kind of salty, so don't just start there, taste it first.
That's a precarious balance you've got there.
No, actually, it's straight up. What are you talking about? Anyway, so we have some optional items. A dash of, now you say this how you want to say it, right? I grew up saying Worcestershire sauce, but probably in England it's like Worcester, and I don't even know. So anyway, this stuff, which is not vegan, a dash of that. A dash of Tabasco or any similar kind of hot sauce. Again, that's not traditional, but it adds, and you don't taste it as in, ooh, that's hot, because I don't really want my salad to be spicy. It just gives it another dimension of vinegar and flavor. So what I'm gonna do, this one happens to be the garlic version, which turns out doesn't taste any different than the regular version. I'm gonna like 3 little drops in there. Couple drops of that. Okay, so it does need salt, but I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to that, but otherwise that's it, that's done.
Okay.
So how easy is Caesar salad dressing? Like, you don't need to buy it, don't be afraid of it. Anchovies keep for a really long time in the fridge, so if you buy a can and you just keep them in the fridge, you'll always have the ingredients around as long as you have a lemon.